Popsquat, coming at ya. Got a track sent in from Twizzy Broke, which makes me laugh because that was probably with the name I was thinking of when I did the song Twizzy Rich a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago. And instead of Twizzy Rich, I wrote Twizzy Broke. So Twizzy Broke, thank you for supplying comedy for me. Twizzy Broke sent in a track from Jane Remover, somebody new to me. Looks like they've got a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube. And this track that we're going to listen to, what's it called? Royal Blue Walls, has got 26,000 views. And I've got some information from Genius over here about Jane Remover. Jane Remover, formerly known as Ditzk, D-I-T-Z-K, born in 2003, is an American producer, songwriter, and artist from New Jersey. The artist is notable for their 2021 album Frailty, if I'm reading that. Yes, Frailty, which has gained a lot of attention for having a unique sound. Jane is part of the record label Dead Air. Jane is also known for music posted under the side project known as Concern, I think with either a capital O or a zero for the O in Concern. Concern, aka Leroy, by posting music under the tag Dariacore. That's a lot of confusing information there. The sample-heavy subgenre revolves around how one deconstructs pop and dance music into this amalgamation of controlled chaos. Oh, this sounds very, very interesting to me. Yeah, if this is deconstructed dance music, so this is listed as the tags on Genius call it rock, post-grunge, noise pop, slowcore, emo pop, shoegaze, dream pop, and alternative rock. So this is just absolutely going to be interesting. This came out in June of 2022. This is the first track on the album Royal Blue Walls, with the name Royal Blue Walls for the name of the track. 6 minutes and 2 seconds long. Let's check this out. This sounds like it's going to be interesting. Twizzy Broke, thank you for sending this in. This is going to be so cool. So I'm sitting here wondering, like, what in the hell this sounds like, because the vocals make it sound very sort of resolved emo-y, right? Like, they're just sort of like, this is my life, and I'm singing about what I was doing as a teenager. I was so sad and was going to end my life. At least I think that's what they're talking about at the turn of the new decade. And then we decided, like, my friend and I, or boyfriend, I don't know, we're going to do something with our lives instead, and like get all the. But it's not. It's like, we got to be here, so we better do something. And the sound of it, the voice is fantastic for emo, and then the music is very rock, very like alternative rock, progressive rock, and yet I can't name you a band that it really sounds like. Maybe sort of a slight Smashing Pumpkins, which I don't think I've mentioned Smashing Pumpkins on this channel ever. Maybe once, maybe once. Now that I think of it, and but it definitely has a little bit of that noise rock going on with it, and it's really an interesting, unique sound. I'm just having a hard time pinning down it, but even so, I sit here and go, oh yeah, this sounds like music that I know, but I can't come up with what that music is, and that's a really weird thing to think. I don't know. It's interesting. So let's keep going. Let's talk about the neighbor with flags in the garage. So we'll back up. The guy next door with flags in his garage said he's not worth the hype, but he still got his number. He wishes I was gone and you still let him run. God forbid I get a little scared. The guy next door, he likes to shoot for fun, and they all love him for it. And on TV he sits down and watches when they say I'm a scary This would be really a killer track to listen to in concert. Like, just that build up to from way back here. I guess I'm going to back up quite a ways, but the build up that's going on here, and then when it gets much louder, the music in the background gets much louder. I can just feel that in concert, and it would be pretty fucking amazing. So that is super interesting in the background. It's such a weird instrument noise to include because it just ramps up the energy of the song in a way that's like really subtle, but it's almost annoying. Like the way that note hits your ear, but it fits, and it's the most definite thing going on in the music at that point. You can hear the drums, you can hear the bass, you can hear the guitar, like you can hear everything, but that it's just like it's so strong, and it seems like a really weird choice, but it does fit with the music. It's crazy.
to the sinker, the razor toes top. Watch it fall, the hair on my legs and my eyes, the hair on my legs and...
Okay, so interestingly, John, me, is an idiot, and there is a lot of information in the sidebars for this, and it looks like Ditsk is the old identity, male identity of Jane Remover, who now is, I believe, they, them. And it looks like this song is trying to communicate how at 14 Jane tells herself that she'll stop hiding her identity when she turns 20. So not about killing themselves, not about two different people, unless this the previous identity and Jane are very different. I realize maybe I shouldn't use the former name because it may be considered a dead name, which I don't want to do. So whoever's at the bottom of the pool is the identity in control of Jane's body. He, in quotation marks, refers to Jane's past identity as a male who wore the pants and took control, belt in his hand. At 16, Jane tells herself if she wants to avoid problems arising from her identity reveals she must remain hidden. For this reason, we see Jane's male identity maintaining control at the bottom of the pool so Jane wouldn't have to come out. So, pretty interesting. Tore off my mouth as I prayed to the birds. So continuing to hide her identity. This is really, really interesting. And then there's also the whole section in here about my neighbor with the flags, and he watches TV where he shoots guns and he gets celebrated for it, and he sits down and watches TV when they say I'm a scary girl because trans. So probably some allusion to like Fox or whatever other nutball news organizations people happen to be following in the last couple of decades. So pretty interesting. So this is probably a song I wish there had been a note right up front that says this is what this is about, but it's really interesting because it's about somebody being honest with themselves, right? And like, this is how I have to get through the right now, and the right now I need to be the boy I was born into this world as, because it's not safe for me to do otherwise, even though I feel like I am not a boy. And honestly, I can't even conceive of having to go through that change, and then having the entire world think you're a weirdo, freak, dangerous because you just want to be yourself, and nobody else knew who you were until you figured it out, and then you can't speak up and say who you are. Like, it drives me nuts. Anyway, this is really, really very, very good and super interesting to me, and I'm certainly going to be downloading it and listening to it through a number of times because it's fascinating. I don't think I've ever heard a song about somebody transitioning, and it's a super brave track because I haven't heard a song about somebody transitioning before. It's amazing.
No stranger to the sinker, the razor toes top. Watch it fall, the hair on my legs and my eyes, the hair on my legs and my eyes, the hair on my legs and my eyes.
So I think that's this is a weird thing to say. I think that's a really interesting line to include and then to repeat 3 times. The hair on my legs and my arms. And the reason why I think it's weird is because it is such an absolutely concrete image that anybody who has hair on their body will understand. Like, you have shaved a portion of your body. I would almost guarantee that anybody alive today in America has shaved a portion of their body for one reason or other, whether you go to have surgery or you do it because you want to, or you're a swimmer, or you're you shave your armpits because that's the fashion of things that people do for, especially for women, or you shave your chest and oil yourself down because you're a guy who does that sort of thing. Do people do that? I don't know anymore. And whatever it is, you shave your face. Like, it's such a concrete image. You have this view of what is involved of shaving a portion of yourself, and the kind of the dirtiness, and at the same time the cleanliness that results from it, that dirtiness of like the hair falling off and being in the sink and being around the sink, and you have to clean it up. Like, it's a very, very concrete image with a lot of stuff tied into it, because it's a very personal thing too. Like, you rarely let someone else shave you, right? So it's very much about you and your identity and your physical person. And I think including that little detail and then driving it home 3 times is a super effective way to pull people out of the song and get them thinking about themselves when they do that. It's really interesting. So the rest of the song has been really kind of more lyrics forward, like as in you could hear exactly what was being said. But now we get into this last verse, and it's almost reversing, so that the music is becoming more important than the lyrics themselves, even though I think this is really when the lyrics become even more important for you to read and pay attention to. So I think a lyric video that they've put together here is a really good solution, because you should be hearing everything, or being able to understand everything. And this is also a portion of the song that I would think is the most shoegazy, right? Really, really good stuff. Oh, I like that. I like that ending a lot. So I want to read a little bit here. This is just an absolutely fascinating song, and I'm so glad you sent this in, Twizzy Broke. This is on the last 2 lines, and I die where I stand, tell my mother I'm not coming home. I should back up a little bit. Burn a hole in my hand, all alone, all alone, all alone. I'm a no good liar, till he says he's proud of me, and I die where I stand, tell my mother I'm not coming home. And the annotation on here, which whoever's writing these annotations is doing a fucking fantastic job. So it says, Jane feels alone and not quite complete in her identity until her father acknowledges her and says he is proud of her. Once this happens, Jane's previous male identity states that finally, only now can he die here in that very moment. Jane tells her father to tell her mother that he won't be returning home anymore, only Jane will. For those not yet aware, this entire song, up until this point, has encapsulated the constant struggle for Jane living with the identity she feels is not herself. The track name Royal Blue Walls refers to the stereotypical bedroom wall color chosen for a boy. I don't think royal blue is really the color, but blue. Baby blue. The final line brings those struggles to a cessation where Jane finally finds peace with herself and who she is, as who she is. A happy ending found merely in the last couple of sentences as the track is about to end, which is supported by the release of tension with an uplifting major chord as she sings the last line. Incredible, so good. This is the sort of commentary that I would like on so many more tracks. Whoever wrote this is, like I said, doing a fantastic job. So interesting. If you want to read more about this, there are tons of annotations throughout this whole thing. I'm not going to read it all, but this is a great song. This is just an absolutely great song. I'm so curious about more of this. So Royal Blue Walls came out in June of 2022. Let's see, it has 2 tracks on it. And the second, so first one is Royal Blue Walls. The second one is Cage Girl, which I think we can probably figure out the girl who was caged inside that whole time, right? Wow, very, very cool. Twizzy Broke, thank you for sending this in. This is so cool. And another reason I think it's so cool is because we've had people in music, rock music, rap, not a lot in rap music, but rock music particularly, who have been gay, lesbian, any whatever you want to say, but trans is pretty new. The person I think of as the earliest person in rock music who was trans is maybe the guy, I forget his name, but the guy who sung "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby." I think they had a lifelong issue with their identity, and I don't know. And growing up when they did. Sorry, I don't know what they went by. I think they died a couple of years ago. Didn't have the tools to deal with it, and so this song, talking about all this stuff, is pretty amazing. And even if you disagree, which is a stupid thing to say, with trans people and the choices, quote unquote, that they make, this is like, you can't deny that they exist, and that like, you can't deny reality. Reality is that these people are around and they get to live their lives however the fuck they want to. So this is just an absolutely fantastic song, I think, for anybody who is potentially going through this sort of change, who is dealing with feeling ostracized from friends, family, whatever, being young and not able to speak for themselves safely. I think this is a fantastic song. I think it's an absolutely amazing track. So Pop Squat, check it out. Please like, subscribe, and share. This was amazing. I'm so happy I got to listen to this. Definitely checking out more from Jane Remover. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Thanks again. Like, subscribe, and share. I think I said that. Bye-bye.